Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you guys are doing okay. So a lot of you have seen the most recent trailer for the new Bleach fighting game, and our understanding right now is that it's an arena fighter. I know some people were saying it's just an adventure game, but after looking at the trailer and speaking to a lot of different people, I think it's fair to conclude that this will have a story mode and be a 1v1 fighting game. But the FGC seemed to largely reject the idea of an arena Bleach fighting game and had hoped that it would follow in the same footsteps as Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, just to get my opinion aside, and if you will allow me to be subjective for a moment, the best way to do a Bleach game would be to expand on the type of fighting found in Heat of the Soul. Heat of the Soul is a very popular Bleach fighting game, and there are about 7 installments of it, and they're actually really good fun. There's a lot of broken things in the games and a lot that can be refined, but Heat of the Soul is one of the best Bleach fighting games out there in my opinion, and it had a format that sat in between 2D fighting and arena fighting that was unique and fun to play. That being said, why is the FGC so against this new Bleach fighting game? Well, the answers are simple really. Most arena fighters are cheap cash grabs that lack support, depth in their gameplay, and oftentimes release completely broken with modes not working and stages completely glitching out. Jujutsu Cursed Clash released this year to a lackluster response because the game looked extremely low budget and it played like the people that made it didn't care. Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles had fluid gameplay, a decent cast, and some mid to high level tactics that could be employed, but the game lacked support, had a terrible online infrastructure, took forever to update, and when it did update it got worse with balance patches that made no sense. Ultimate Ninja Storm is a well respected and well known series, even being adopted by the FGC and other tournament scenes at times, but the most recent iteration, Storm Connections, completely dropped the ball and didn't even offer you the ability to play with your friends in a custom lobby. You just had to hope you bumped into each other online, which is absolutely ridiculous. My Hero 1's Justice 2 was another decent showing, but did not have much in the way of replay value because the systems weren't deep enough to capture the attention of its intended market. So I completely understand why people would be apprehensive of a Bleach arena fighter, and I completely get if they're wondering if it's worth investing their money into a game that might be dropped by the developer within a year. Right now, I don't know. It's hard to say. Arena fighters have received years of support before, like Xenoverse 2, but that is extremely rare. At this point, I think Xenoverse 2 has received more support than World of Warcraft, but that is a game that stands on its own. The other problem is arena fighters are seen as casual party games that have nothing but one button combos and easy to do specials without any real complexity in the system's mechanics. Whilst this is true for a lot of arena fighters, it's not absolutely true. When arena fighters get it right, they really are a joy to play. Ninja Storm games have a rich and complicated system that looks simple and mundane at first, but when you dive into its actual mechanics, it's got levels to it. Movement and chakra meter management, as well as managing your substitution logs, are extremely important and make the difference between winning and losing. The Budokai Tenkaichi games have long been regarded as the king of the arena fighters because of their rich and complex systems. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is a more difficult game to learn, be good at, and consistent throughout than a lot of the current fighting games we have on the market today. Sparking Zero looks to continue that tradition by retaining the essence of what made the Budokai Tenkaichi games special, and whilst all signs point to this being the case, we won't know until we actually get to sit down and fully explore the game together. That being said, I don't think the FGC should immediately turn away from the idea of a new arena fighting game for Bleach. Ninja Storm and Budokai Tenkaichi have proven that it is possible to have multiple levels of play in arena fighters and also retain tactics found in popular fighting games like Street Fighter, Tekken, and Guilty Gear. Besides, it's always good to have a variety of fighting games on the market. I know some of you have probably already written comments by now saying that I'm coping, that this is a waste of time, Ninja Storm and Budokai are not fighting games, but I'm just saying you should have an open mind. The trailer showed off some impressive visuals and some really cool music that sounded like it came straight out of the anime itself, so at least those are positives for now. A lot of you know by now that Sparking Zero is not being balanced like a traditional fighting game, but more in line to fit with the lore of the Dragon Ball universe. And I don't mind arena fighters having their own rules for balancing as long as checks and balances are made within these games. They need to follow their own rules. Sparking Zero is implementing the DP system, which limits you on which characters you can pick, so you're not constantly getting the same Gogeta and Broly teams over and over. For example, the DP system works in a way where somebody like Gogeta Blue is probably going to be worth 10 points and so is Broly. So So if they award you 15 points, or if they allow you up to 15 points and you choose Gogeta Blue, then you will only be able to choose a tag team partner that is worth 5 points or less. Now you could go for people like Yajirobe that will probably be worth 1 because they're very weak, and then you can put another person on the team, but you can basically get very creative with the DP system, and it stops people from just spamming the most overpowered characters. That is a good way to balance it, and it worked in Tenkaichi 3. Bleach could do a similar thing to make rank competitive while still remaining true to the anime power levels. As I said, I think people should keep an open mind and wait for more information. Whilst I know most arena fighters are absolute dog water, and I agree with you guys, most of them are, not all of them are, and when they get them right, they are really some of the most fun games to play and exhilarating to watch. I can promise you now, if they have Evo showcasing Sparking Zero, the crowd is going to be going absolutely crazy, provided that the game is what we believe it to be. From everything that I've seen, it looks like a faithful adaptation of the Budokai Tenkaichi series, but as I said earlier, we won't know until we actually get our hands on it. Based on everything that everybody else has said about the game, it looks very, very promising. So I would absolutely love to see an arena fighter, one that is done correctly, whether that is Sparking Zero or Bleach or a future Naruto game. I would love to see them being adopted by the FGC, because I'd love to sit here with my chat or read another chat and just watch the commentators, watch the game and watch the audience react to it and see how people play them within the FGC, and we take it to another level. My hope is that all of this eventually leads to a Jump versus game that really gets made with a lot of love and attention. Jump Force was absolute garbage, and it broke my heart because it had JoJo's characters in it, and you guys all know that I love JoJo. Obviously I love Dragon Ball, I love One Piece, I love Bleach, all of these animes that have been represented in fighting games before, but I never really saw JoJo's characters very often. So when this game came out and it had Jotaro and it had Dio, I was very, very excited, and I bought Jump Force, and it sucks. It absolutely sucks, and the servers are shut down now, so I can only play it offline, and nobody in their right mind is going to come to my house just to play Jump Force. I'd like a Jump versus game to be made or done closer to Burst Limit. I don't know if you guys remember Burst Limit. Burst Limit was a Dragon Ball game, and in my opinion it is one of the best Dragon Ball games and best fighting games on the market. It is a hidden gem. I don't know why it's gone under the radar so much. It was fairly popular when it came out. I feel like it has more of a cult following now, but I absolutely love Burst Limit. That is the only other style of Dragon Ball game that I might pick over a game like Sparking Zero. Maybe. We'll see when Sparking Zero gets here. But Burst Limit was fantastic, and if they did a jump game in that style with those mechanics and that vision in mind, I think it would be absolutely incredible. I think that because it sits in between a traditional 2D fighting game and a 3D game, you will satisfy both crowds, and Dragon Ball is such a massive franchise that everyone will be happy. But sorry, I'm digressing. We're not here to talk about Dragon Ball, we're here to talk about Bleach. So to round off the video, I would like to know what you guys think about Bleach. Are you optimistic about the direction they're taking Bleach in? Would you prefer something closer to Dragon Ball FighterZ? Would you like something closer to Heat of the Soul or Burst Limit, or a more traditional 2D fighting game rather than a 2D anime fighter like Dragon Ball FighterZ or Guilty Gear? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what they are cooking up for us, and hopefully we get some more information soon. Anyways guys, take care and peace.